my homage to the gem of the Supreme Buddha. The Buddha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Dhamma. The Dhamma is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Sangha. The Sangha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the Supreme Triple Gem. The Triple Gem is my refuge every day. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajas Sunantu Saggamokhadang Dhammasavana Kalu Ayang Badanta Dhammasavana Kalu Ayang Badanta Dhammasavana Kalu Ayang Badanta. May all divine beings arrive here to listen to sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to the Supreme Buddha, the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. Meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, now you are going to listen to sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened one. Today I want to emphasize to you regarding the time period that we have to live in this golden human life. Human life we get after a lapse of time, because always we have to be born in the hell, animal plane, ghost plane and asura world and all that. That factor is not discernible as such. It is hidden, it is latent. What is manifest is only this human world and the animal world. But you have to understand, apart from these two worlds, there are other planes in this universe. Brahma world and the heavenly world and the hell or purgatory and the preta world, and all these worlds exist in the universe. That kind of existence has been understood, viewed by the Supreme Buddha, who is called Samanta Chakku, who can see everything, who can know everything in the world. We have a very poor knowledge regarding the universe, very narrow. We are narrow-minded persons. Therefore, the Supreme Buddhas have completed 10 perfections for eons and eons of time and attained what is called the omniscience or Sabbanyuta Jnana. Having understood the universe perfectly, the Supreme Buddha delivered Dhamma for all of us to get rid of this sansaric life, but very few are able to get rid of this sansaric life according to the Supreme Buddha's teachings, like appakate manussesu yejana paragamino atayang itara paja tiramevanu dhavati. Very few can cross the sansaric ocean. The others, they always go here and there, move about here and there on the show. Therefore, meritorious devotees, this is the greatest opportunity that you have got to accumulate merits and to be born in a pleasurable plane and to get rid of this sansaric life. In order to get rid of this sansaric life, the very first thing that we have to do is to establish ourselves in the Supreme Buddha, in the sublime Dhamma, in the noble Sangha. That is the most difficult thing a person has to face, encounter. People tend to think by uttering Buddhan Saranam Gacchami, Dhamman Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, they can take triple gem. I mean, they can take the refuge in the triple gem. But it is not so. We have to know the qualities of the Supreme Buddha and we have to believe them. We have to have unshakable confidence in the Supreme Buddha. And that refuge rather, is broken, is destroyed, is vanished when one utters some utterances like, is there a hell, is there a heaven, is there a next birth. Like that, when they utter some utterances, when they do like that, their refuge of the triple gem is lost, vanished, disappeared, destroyed. Therefore, you have to have full confidence about the Supreme Buddha. Unfortunately, I mean, majority have no full confidence. They have confidence about other things, other material things. They have confidence about Western science. That is why they always want to compare the teachings of the Buddha with Western science, because naturally they talk about, even scientists have told this like that. Now, scientists are not the persons who have completely eradicated lust, hatred and delusion. They have not done a kind of noble research. Their research are ignoble research. I mean, just knowing the kind of planets, what is Mars, what is Moon, what is Sun, what is Jupiter. Now, that is something very, very trivial thing. Even though people tend to think this is one of the best things in the world, knowing about these planets and all that, universe and all that, by using some apparatus, scientific apparatus, microscope and all that. That's laboratory, this research is not the research. The real research should be taken place in the mind. It should be taken place in the mind. That is why some of the Westerners these days interested in the teachings of the Buddha, they know only the Supreme Buddha knew everything in the world by developing the mind up to the highest level. Therefore, they want to follow the Supreme Buddha's teachings. Some scientists like Peter of the Western world, they have followed scientific knowledge, theoretical physics in the Cambridge University. Later on, he wanted to become a Buddhist monk. Why? He understood the Supreme Buddha is the greatest teacher in the world. But this truth has not been understood by Sri Lankan, some Sinhalese Buddhists. Why? They have not been socialized appropriately, adequately from the very beginning. by their parents and especially Buddhist monks. Even though they go to Dhamma schools, they just want to follow a syllabus, nothing more than that. And they are not properly guided to believe this greatest teacher. What has been emphasized in the Dhamma, is not the noble, the magnanimity of the Supreme Buddha. Therefore, they do not want to know 9 qualities of the Buddha. They do not want to know 6 qualities of the Dhamma. They do not want to know 9 qualities of the Sangha. They just want to know other things, what is not important. Now, even the Buddhist monks, they have not properly understood the value of the triple gem and the sublime Dhamma, and how, and especially the danger in the sansaric life. That's why they do not emphasize the danger in the sansaric life. They do not want to actually be kind enough to our followers. That's why they do not emphasize this kind of gravity of the problem of being rotating in the sansaric life by getting births in the hell, animal plane and ghost plane. I saw recently one of the videos in the social media regarding a monk who is not properly following the Dhamma and the Vinaya. He is a nasty fellow. And there is another Buddhist monk revealing his all the details and criticizing him, and especially he wanted to make the people knowledgeable regarding that, and he wants to kind of uplift this dispensation. He is talking like that. But in his talk, he says the talking about impermanence is useless. That is not the thing. He talks about some of the bhikkhus like Venerable Migettuwatte Gunananda Thera and our Variyapula Sumangala Thera, and the recent some prominent monks. They should be there for the they should be there for the development of the dispensation. They forget. Now the major problem is they forget the origin of the sasana, dispensation, from where we are originated. Now that is a kind of very humorous thing. They forget the Supreme Buddha, they forget the sublime Dhamma, they forget the Sangha who has attained the Arahantship. They forget Arahants. And also the basics of the Dhamma, major factors like three qualities, 3 characteristics, 3 signata, anicca, dukkha, anatta. On the one hand, he wants to criticize another monk, and put the dispensation on the pedestal. On the other hand, he criticizes, and also he neglects the main teachings of the Buddha like 3 signata, anicca. they have now these young monks, they have some kind of what is called some kind of neglect on the one hand, or on the other hand, they have they are against three signata. Now, once again, that particular Buddhist monk also, while showing the world, I am trying to rescue the dispensation and put the dispensation on the pedestal, he also destroying the sasana dispensation by attacking the main what is called teachings of the Buddha. Anicca dukkha anatta. Without anicca dukkha anatta, what can be talked in the world? Everything is impermanent, everything is suffering, everything is soulless. Now that is the kind of truth. I mean, that is the truth in the world. So nobody can challenge it. Nobody can challenge it. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, we have to be very careful in, we have to be very careful in, we have to be very careful in analyzing the teachings of the Buddha and using the teachings of the Buddha. He himself says about Alagadupama discourse, the person must really know when handling Dhamma to handle properly, appropriately. Just like he has to hold the cobra on the proper place rather than holding in another place, like that he says. Alagadupama Sutta is explains like that. We have to follow Dhamma properly. We must not take it in a wrong manner. Now here he himself takes it wrongly. That is the thing these days, the major problem in the dispensation, those who they are completely destroying the dispensation, and there are who are going to rescue the dispensation, and they also, in the name of rescuing, latently they destroy the dispensation. Therefore, our followers should be very, very careful and wise. That is why Supreme Buddha says, Paññāvantassāyan Dhammo, Nāyan Dhammo Duppanyassa. This Dhamma is for the wise, not for the fools, not for the unwise. When you actually take refuge in the Supreme Buddha wholeheartedly and the sublime Dhamma, when you take refuge in the sublime Dhamma wholeheartedly, when you take refuge in the noble Sangha wholeheartedly, this kind of confidence establish in you. That establishment is the very important thing to go on the path, to trod on the path, to follow the path. Actually, without which you cannot actually follow the path. Why we follow the path? Because we are suffering. Dukkhe loko patittito. This world is dependent upon suffering. Buddha says, Dukkhe loko patittito. But it is not seen, visible. It is not manifest. It is latent. Superficially, we can see some kind of pleasure in this world, in this life, but underhand, as an undercurrent, suffering operates. unsatisfactoriness operates. Always with the incidents, that unsatisfactoriness is curtailed, is actually it is closed by this kind of temporary satisfaction, this temporary satisfaction. Now, it has been ignored, that suffering has been ignored by temporary satisfaction. Therefore, meritorious devotees, this factor you have to understand. There is no permanent satisfaction in the world. Always we have to suffer, on the one hand, in terms of physical pain, and on the other hand, mental pain. Now, in my case, I can actually cheat you, I can emphasize you, I can generally highlight to you, pleasurable path, pleasurable aspects in the world, but they are temporary. They are attractive. Now, pleasurable factors are attractive, but unpleasurable aspects are not attractive. They are not attractive. They are painful. People do not like to be painful. They like to be always happy. But there is happiness in Buddhism, in the Dhamma, but it should be gained by the proper way. It should be gained by the proper way. But people want to gratify their senses not in the proper way. Now, and also they tend to think world is permanent, world is always pleasurable, world is always substantial. People tend to think, but it doesn't happen. Then they have to suffer because of that. Therefore, we have to accept this truth. When we accept this truth and live accordingly, the problems are solved. That is why Buddha says, Metta, Karuna, Mudita and Upeksha. Metta means loving kindness. Karuna means compassion. Mudita means sympathetic joy. Upeksha means equanimity. Now, in the world, we cannot always encounter pleasurable things. Sometimes there are benefits, sometimes there are not benefits, and sometimes there is fame, sometimes there is not fame, and sometimes there is pleasure, sometimes not pleasure. Therefore, this kind of system operates in the world. Atalo Dhamma, we call it. Atalo Dhamma operates. Therefore, equanimity should be developed in order to face the situation. And also, our day by day, life is ended. Life is ended. We are aging. Therefore, we must accumulate merits. We must accumulate merits. And very limited period of time that we have to live in the human world, this golden time. This dispensation, this dispensation will be vanished within a very short period of time. This opportunity is lost then. It gets lost. Therefore, within this period, within this Gautama dispensation, we must strive to accumulate merits by practicing Dhamma. We must offer dana, and we must practice sila, virtue, and we must meditate, develop our mind. So, mental development is the highest development, But people tend to think the physical development is the highest thing. Therefore, they always try to train their voice, they want to train their body, they want to train their other knowledges, they are always attached to the worldly things. But we must strive to develop our mind. Mind is the forerunner of everything. Manopubbangama dhamma. So, if the mind is destroyed with some unwholesome things, that contributes to be born, in the hell, the animal plane and the ghost plane. Therefore, we must strive to accumulate merits, and very few gets the opportunity to be born in a pleasurable plane next time. In order to get included into that particular specific group, the noblest group, you have to work hard. I mean, it is a very, very difficult opportunity, very, very rare opportunity to be born in a pleasurable plane. So, therefore, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Appamadena sampadeta. The Supreme Buddha says, you have to, be diligent in order to accumulate merits and to develop your mind, to eradicate defilements, eradicate bad qualities, develop good qualities, especially jealousy should be ended, and hatred should be ended, and impatience should be ended. So, we have to be patient. Khanti paraman tapo titikha. The greatest thing is patience. Therefore, these things, if you develop properly, you can have a pleasurable next birth. Now, next birth in the sense, especially if we get an opportunity to be born in a heavenly plane, we can develop our mind rather than what we do now. Therefore, this Dhamma sermon, I wanted to emphasize, we have to have a proper understanding, proper knowledge and proper practice in order to get rid of this dangerous samsaric life. So, from the very beginning of this, I wanted to emphasize both laity and both clergy. Many of the occasions have not understood this fact properly. Therefore, we have to understand it properly. We have to take refuge in the Triple Gem wholeheartedly. We have to accumulate merits as much as possible, and we must try to include ourselves into that particular rare group who are going to be born in the pleasurable plane, that is at least less than 10,000 maybe from all the population in the world. Now, this fact you have to understand, and may you be able to get yourself included to that particular group and be born in the pleasurable plane and practice Dhamma there, and be able to comprehend the Four Noble Truths within the regime of this Buddha Sasana. May the Noble Triple Gem bless with you all. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkhantu Buddha Sasanang. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkhantu Buddha Desanang. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkhantu tang sada. May you all be well and happy.